Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video. Today I thought I'd talk about what my ideal lineup for Chelsea is for the upcoming season. And obviously when I say ideal, I don't mean, buying Ronaldo and Messi and, like pretty much the best players in the world. I mean, what's possible, what's realistic, what's been rumoured and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to try to cover, the lineup, the subs and some of the transfers that may or may not happen. So let's get started. So obviously in goals will be Petr Cech. I'm pretty sure Courtois is going on loan yet again. When you watch Cech play, you don't get any indication that he's 34 or 35. I still definitely think he's got a good 5 years under his belt, which is sort of worrying for Courtois because he's a big upcoming talent and I'm sure he's going to want a lot of game time. But with Cech there, I don't know if that's going to be possible, but obviously for this current season, he'll definitely be the main keeper. In terms of the sub keeper, I'm not actually sure. We might actually buy either a really old experienced goalkeeper like Schwarzer, or we could sort of bring in one of our players like Blackman from our youth squad. But obviously Cech's going to be our main man in goals, and obviously he's been really good the last few years, so I'm expecting a big year for him once again. So left back we have Cole. Obviously Cole, once again, has been really solid ever since he's joined Chelsea. He's been such a good player, such a solid left back. He is getting a little bit old, but obviously he's solid there. And Bertrand has actually really been an impressive player for me. Last season when Cole got injured, he really stepped up and he's a really good attacking left back, which I like to see. And there were talks that we were going to get Luke Shaw. Whether or not that does happen, that's still not going to change the fact that Cole's going to be our main man in left back. So, obviously the left back spot is a spot that, we've really been secure for a while now with Cole there. But as he's getting older, we're definitely going to start needing to think about our future. So I think Luke Shaw would definitely be a good signing. So centre backs. Now there's been a lot of transfer talks about this. I'm thinking it's going to be Terry and Ivanovic, probably, depending on what sort of transfers we get, because I know that Mourinho is a big fan of Terry, and Ivanovic has always been so solid in centre-back. Cahill as well, but I don't know about Cahill. I don't know if Mourinho likes him too much. There were talks that we were going to get Mangala, if that's how you pronounce his name, and Zuma, but obviously whether or not that does happen, I'm not sure. Obviously on the right-back spot, we're going to keep Azpilicueta there. He's a young, big talent, and, I definitely really highly rate him. So, and I'm pretty sure Mourinho is a fan of him as well. So, that he should work out really well there. And obviously the fact that Mourinho has come to Chelsea will mean that we're going to be able to get players a lot easier, I should say. Despite the fact that we have millions and millions of dollars from Abramovich, the fact that we've got Mourinho there is really, a lot of players really like him and really happy to play alongside him. So anyway, our centre defensive mids, I'm thinking David Luiz, if he doesn't get sold, which I hope he doesn't. I've always been a big fan of him. He's not the most safe player, I suppose, to have in centre-back. That's why I like to have him in defensive mid. Him and Lampard. I've always loved Lamps, but he is getting really old. And obviously you can sort of tell when you watch him play that he's sort of, reaching that point in his career where, he will be facing retirement soon. Here, however, he's a big legend, and I do love him, and obviously him and Luiz will probably be rotating. On the other side, maybe Khedira, if he comes from Real Madrid, he might want to come and play alongside Mourinho. If not, I'm sure Ramirez will be solid in that spot once again. I love those bursting runs he makes down the middle of the midfield, so obviously that's going to be a pretty solid zone there for Chelsea, the sort of defensive mids, because we've always had pretty solid defensive mids. So now, centre attacking mid, there has been a lot of rumours about this. Firstly, Rooney has been a big one. I don't think Rooney's going to leave, and really, personally, I don't really want him. I do think he's a really solid player, don't get me wrong, but I just don't think we need him as such, because there's so many other players that we've got in that sort of role where we just don't need him, and there's cheaper options that are, much younger, and players that are probably going to have really high potentials, and I just think paying all that money for Rooney probably isn't worth it. But obviously Mata, there were talks of him getting sold, which would be the most sad thing for me because I love him, he's a legend, but I don't think that's going to happen. Obviously Marco van Ginkel, it looks like that signing is probably going to happen. I watched him play in under 20s actually, and he's quite a solid player, so I'm quite happy to see him if he does come to Chelsea. Also Oscar, obviously, I think he's been an okay player. I don't think he's been He hasn't been amazing by any means. For Brazil, he's always been a really good player. But at Chelsea, I don't know. He didn't have the best first season, I didn't think. Sometimes inconsistent at times, sometimes really weak, especially in the Premier League. Because obviously the Premier League is a big league, and for guys like him, who's, he's a pretty small guy, it's not easy to, use his strength. So, I'm sure, Mourinho will like him because he is a very solid player and he's got an awesome shot on him. On the right wing, I don't know about this actually because De Bruyne, there were talks that he was going to get loaned out or even sold, which for me would be stupid because he's got such high talent, and I just think selling him would be stupid. But obviously, Hazard is going to be our right wing or left wing. I'm not sure about that, but Hazard for me is the brightest player on Chelsea. He's the player with the most flair. He's been worth all the money we paid for him, and I just love those little explosions of pace and those little explosions he gets where he just goes past players. I just love it. And obviously, if he gets injured or tired or whatever, De Bruyne can come in and sort of prove why he deserves, a first team place. Because obviously Mourinho, I think he said that he is keen on keeping De Bruyne for this season, which for me is a good sign. So left wings, obviously we bought Andre Schürrle. He is a pretty bright talent. I don't know too much about him, honestly, because I don't watch too much of the German league, but I do know that he's got an amazing long shot on him. And he's obviously only 22, which is good. So he's probably going to be our solid left wing. And Moses, if Moses doesn't get loaned out, he can be a very good sort of... I don't want to say like a sub player because I think he's more than that. I think he can, he deserves to start games. He's a strong guy. He's got a really good shot on him. He's really strong as well, and he's really quite fast. I definitely rate him quite highly. So as you can see, just our sort of... midfield zone is really solid. We've got so many options, and in our attacking zone as well, guys like Mata, Hazard, Oscar, Schürrle, so much creativity there. So I'm really excited to see how Mourinho utilises that. So now moving on to attack. Now this is a bit of an optimistic sort of thing. A lot of people have been saying that we're going to be keeping who we've got, and not going to be selling anyone in terms of our forwards. But I would like to see Bar or even Torres or both, one or the other, definitely at least one of them gets sold out. I do rate both of them, but I do think we can obviously break the bank, which Abramovich is known to do, and spend that extra bit of money and get someone really good, Cavani. I don't want Suarez because I hate him, but, someone up to that sort of standard, maybe even Jovetic. But for me, Cavani would be great. And then we could sort of play Lukaku alongside with him, or we can play them sort of alternating. That way we can give Lukaku a lot of game time as well. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the lineup that I've mentioned here. I know that a lot of you guys probably think that other players deserve game time. Obviously, I didn't mention Mikel, Bar, Marin, and heaps of other players, but those are the sort of 3 players that I think we should sell. Mikel, I don't know, I've never been that convinced with him. He is playing well in the Confederations Cup at the moment, but I don't really rate him that highly for Chelsea. Marco Marin just has been unlucky at Chelsea, just hasn't really been able to kickstart his career. And Bar, I suppose the same as Marin really, just hasn't been able to really do justice to what he did at Newcastle. And obviously there's heaps of other players. I mean, there's so many young players in our team. We've already got so much talent in our squad. We don't need to, spend too much money. People want us to get Hulk, but really it's not necessary. We've already got good players. We've got lots of young players like Aki, Chaloba, Piazon, all these guys, that I really want to send out on loan, and then obviously I want them to get game time at Chelsea later on down the track, because I really do think we've got a good youth academy and a lot of potential for good things, in the upcoming future, especially for this next season, in the Champions League and the Premier League. But yeah, so thanks a lot for watching, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this lineup, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.